Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is the recap for the air element, which is what we have been discussing all for Q3. There's a lot to kind of go over, not really, but there is. So we talked about how air is the element of breath, of communication, of thought, of inspiration and movement. It was sustainable, suitable, invisible, yet essential. It's everywhere, yet untouchable. It connects all living things through the simple act of breathing, which I think is very powerful, right? Because when you think about it, all of us are sharing the air element together. We're sharing all the elements in a way, but the two tangible elements, three elements that are extremely tangible in our experience is water, is air, and is earth, okay? Earth because we're walking on the earth, right? We're walking on the ground, we're sharing the earth together. Air because we're breathing the same air. Water because we're all sharing the same water. And I want to say fire, but fire is kind of one of those more, it reminds me of the third dimension. Although it's something that like humanity has used since the dawn of time, it's really something that you kind of have to make on your own, right? You have to find the passion within yourself. You have to start your own fires if you want warmth, right? And so it's kind of like not something that is necessarily connective in the same way. I guess if you can think of it like electricity and like how we all have stoves, maybe we're all sharing the same source of heat in a way if you live in the same building, but those are very third dimensional things. So I would say the fire element is very much of a third dimensional aspect of the elemental kind of giving, receiving of creation, whereas earth, air, and water are things that are naturally tangible to our experience that we obviously all share together. So while earth grounds, fire transforms, and water heals, we know that air elevates. And we've talked about this in previous videos in terms of how air energy is all about innovation, it's all about advancement, revolutionizing, and being rebellious in what no longer works or serves you anymore. So air is all about getting out of the comfort zone. When you are confined in a box, I'm seeing those people that break out of those like jail cell things underwater. That's what I'm seeing right now, or like those glass boxes where those like magicians try to break out of the glass box filled with water. I'm seeing that. So like in order to breathe, you can't really stay in a confined locked space like that. It's like if you're in a coffin, you're not going to be able to breathe in a coffin. That's why they're meant for people who are deceased, right? So the same thing goes. Air elevates because it can't stay in the box. It needs to be outside of the box. Air energy is all about thinking outside of the box. And so even though we're in the age of Aquarius right now, and it is about the mind and kind of bridging what no longer served humanity in the past and really coming forward with truths and like reason and like, you know, things that were part of the subconscious mind are being brought forward into the collective conscious to be made aware of, if you will. It's all of this shadow work that's been hidden in the background of humanity from negative forces and from like a lot of our generational wounds and traumas, things that had been passed down are now coming forward for us to be made aware of. And that's kind of where the collective therapy is coming in. We're being more awakened. People are waking up to what's no longer working for them, patterns in their life, you know, people around them and their belief system. And so it's a very complicated and messy time on earth right now. But if you think about it, you know, where you're at, if you're able to watch this video, I want you to think about the blessings that you have in this moment and be grateful, because if you're able to watch this video, you're able to receive this information, this knowledge. That's very sacred. It means that you are one of the chosen people on this earth. We're all chosen, obviously, but you are one of the chosen people on this earth who's meant to hear this message, okay? You are connecting to every single thing around you, every element, every aspect of creation, and that comes with recognizing that you have to continuously allow yourself to elevate, to evolve past your limits and past the comfort zone in which your soul is not willing to stay in this lifetime. Because for some of you guys, this is your last lifetime and you've been made aware of this, that you've been reincarnating for a while. Maybe you've been made aware of a few of your lifetimes that are relevant to your incarnation today and some of the people that you've been meeting in your life. So I'm kind of going on a channel tangent here, but yeah, you know, in this age of Aquarius, we are being made to be aware of things that were hidden within our subconscious and within the shadow of our being, and be made aware of our ego so that we can go ahead and heal that. And air energy is all about being made aware of those subconscious things so that we can heal, so that we can transform and transcend. The core associations of air in terms of direction: east, sunrise, new beginnings; the season, spring, fresh starts and awakening; and the chakra, the heart chakra, connection and expansion. So while we do think that the air element, well, in itself is connected to the mind, it's also connected to the heart chakra, and that kind of makes sense when we're talking about balancing the head and the heart. The astrology signs for air are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and qualities are light, swift, dry, mobile, of course, intelligent, and curious, right? Remembering, thinking outside of the box. Now, I want to recap really quickly on how to use air energy creatively and spiritually. We're not going to go over everything I've written because we've talked about it in previous videos, but mental and intellectual creation comes from air. So air rules the mind. We talked about this. So it's the perfect time to always write, learn, speak, teach, be more leaning into that communicative aspect of what works for you, expression, if you will. Air is all about that expression energy. You can try free writing to the wind and releasing that letter to the wind, if you will. You can also use feathers, incense, smoke, bells, anything that is kind of being released into the wind and into the air. Air is linked to the Swords tarot card, as we know. Therefore, tools like pendulums or oracles that move through space are beneficial. Think of truth, mind, conflict, and clarity. That is air energy. Air, through the lens of the age of Aquarius, is a time ruled by where humanity steps forward, okay? Think of the collective consciousness, technology and digital connection, truth-seeking, and revolution. Air energy is about innovation and humanitarianism, which makes sense to the time that we're in. A lot of people speaking out and recognizing what's not really helping us in the collective, what's going on with our government, etc. Air energy in this age calls us to elevate thought leadership, communicate revolution, and to step into intellectual evolution. A couple other notes here for you guys. We have connections with air energy in Greek mythology, Egyptian culture, Chinese elemental theory, through Hindu and yogic tradition, and through pranayama, Native American traditions. And so air energy really is about tapping into these different aspects of flow, of movement, of acceptance, but also surrender. So being open, being curious, being willing to adapt and move into different phases of life. I'm thinking of like transitions, like air energy is all about transitions. And so every element will obviously have a connection to sort of the ancestral cultures, to ancient cultures. There's a lot of notes that I've wrote on here in terms of like the air element and how to use it to heal your trauma. I definitely want you guys to check out that video because it's very long and it has a lot more mentioned in there. But this is just kind of a brief overview on air energy. You know, when we are feeling pain, when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling stagnant or constricted, our breathing becomes shallow, our body becomes anxious, we become tense. And so the simple act of breath, sighing, can be extremely beneficial. Tapping into that air element there, that air energy, allowing yourself to breathe, to allow more flow and less constriction in your physical vessel, in your mind, and walking and movement helps with that as well. So there's a lot of goodies in every video for Q3. I want you guys to go ahead and watch them. Do it while you're doing another task if you need to. It's a nice little podcast in the background. And yes, if you'd like to book a reading, go ahead, check the link in bio, or if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description box below. I've got a calendar link that you can book a service with. And of course, if you want to register for School of the Ascending, go ahead and check out, again, link in bio or in the description box below. I hope that this video was helpful. I'm looking forward to talking a little bit more about the water element for Q4, as I am a water sign, a Pisces myself. So do let me know how these videos have helped you guys. I appreciate you as always. And until next time, collective, go and grow.